Here at Big Ten Media Days with Coach Ryan Day. Coach, nice to see you in person and not through a screen. The first question, what everybody wants to know, and I know there's probably not an answer yet, how are the three quarterbacks progressing, and what are you hoping to see from them that first day of camp?
Well, I think that they have to have an approach that it's all about development, not getting too worried about who's the starter, who isn't, just trying to get better, because once they get on the field, they got to play at a high level. That's just what the expectation is here at Ohio State. And so, to be the quarterback at Ohio State, a lot comes with that. You certainly have to play at a high level, but there's a certain way you have to handle yourself. The good news is I think we have enough surrounding him that he's not going to have to do anything extraordinary. And so that's going to be a big part of it, taking care of the football and make the routine plays.
I know you talked a lot about looking at that first game. That second game, though, Oregon coming to town. For one, how exciting is it going to be to open the shoe with that game? But what are you expecting from that big Pac-12 program?
Well, we're really focused on the first game. Certainly having a game back in the shoe is something that, we know in the back of our mind is going to be awesome. That's going to be great. But, we got to get this first one, and that's where the focus is going to be. And then we have, I think, 10 days before we play the next one. So don't want to get down that road. Just want to focus on Minnesota, getting this win on the road with a young quarterback and a young group of linebackers.
Been kind of an interesting week, right? NIL is still a big thing, but this conference potential shift, people have been talking about it a lot. Have you kept tabs on that? And what do you think it means for the landscape of college football? The Big 12 might be exploding.
I've read what you've read, and I know there's been a lot of change in college football in the last 5 years and certainly in the last year. And I just think about all the different things that have happened and expansion in CFP and, possible things like this with realignment. I just wonder in 5 years if we wake up one day and college football looks a lot different. So I think we need to make sure that we balance out making sure we stay current and modern and ahead of the times, but also that we're not in a situation where it's like we don't even recognize the game anymore.
Along those lines, where do you think the strength of the Big Ten is right now in that conference national alignment?
Well, that we have a lot of strength, and I think that one of the things about playing, in this conference is that if you win the conference championship, you should play in the CFP. I think that the Big Ten Conference speaks for itself, and so while I don't know if that means 12 teams, 8 teams, whatever that means, I do believe that in my heart, and so the conference is very, very strong right now. We got some really good teams, recruiting at a high level, and so hopefully we can get to that point.
One of the areas the team maybe honestly lacked last year, but not quite as strong, secondary. How do you feel that's going to shape up this year, and what did you all learn from last year maybe?
Yeah, I thought that when you look at our run defense, we were 6th in the country, and we played against Northwestern. We held them to 10, and the Clemson game I thought we played excellent. We held Trevor Lawrence, to 23 points and 2 turnovers, and so there was some really good things. But then there were some other games that weren't as good, and we gave up too many yards in the Indiana game, obviously in the last game against Alabama. So the first thing we did was we took a look at how we were going to reorganize the staff when Coach Madison retired, and so now Matt Barnes is taking over the secondary, and that frees up Kerry to do some more things. But he's also going to be around it, so they have that part of it really surrounded. But I also think we've done a good job of recruiting and bringing more depth in there. They were really thin back there last year, and so I think we've done a good job of recruiting. The D-line is going to put a little more pressure on the quarterback this year, hopefully, with some of the guys that we have up front. So I think we've done a good job with the depth and the personnel. We've also changed around some of the coaching as well.
My last one for you. Ohio State is definitely in the upper echelon of college football. It feels like there's a few teams and then kind of a bigger group. But how do you keep pushing forward? How do you take another step and maybe win that national championship this year, next year, moving forward?
I think it's two things, and it's something that we've really focused on, is one, recruiting at a high level, and that's what it comes. You got to have good players. But two, at the quarterback position, is finding a young quarterback that you can have for 3 or 4 years. That's one of the things. Dwayne played in this 1 year, and then he was gone to the NFL. Justin played a year, and then this half a year. It was like a year and a half, and he was gone to the NFL. And it's like the minute they get to that point where they're veteran, they're gone. So we want to figure out how fast a way we can get to go find a veteran quarterback. But we also know we're going to have to live through the growing pains as well. So it's kind of one of those things. But I think those are the two areas we've been kind of focusing on.
Okay, now I have the follow-up. You think one of these 3 guys could be that guy?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope. Maybe it's not just one of them. But again, if they understand what the development is and how it works, it can work. And listen, there's been great stories of that, of it working in other places, and so I think it can work for us as well.
Coach Day, thank you so much for your time.
You got it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.